People, Deluded, I'm back again. I hope you're all well and safe, whoever you are, wherever you are. Apologies for just kicking the screen. My legs, I'm a small guy, but my legs seem to be very long when it comes to the tripod. And obviously under this table, there isn't much leg room. There isn't not as much room as you lot might think, and things like that. But people, I wanted to say something. Now, at this point, you've probably seen my video in relation to Arsenal, I believe, getting rid of 55 people, 55 redundancies, and you've no doubt, you know, aware of the information yourself. I have something to say now. Again, yeah, Mesut Ozil's name is being dragged into this, and it's obviously for the money he's on and not playing and things. You can have criticisms, you know. You know, I don't believe in watching a man's finances, but it is perfectly okay to say, you know, Ozil is meant to be seen as your star player. He's not involved. He is very inconsistent, to put it nicely. The wages he's on is not matching the application, so go and sell him or do something and make the resources be used better elsewhere. You know, if Arsenal wanted to even cancel his contract, it's about 20 million and whatnot. Obviously, when you see people losing your jobs and you see Ozil and the fact that he's never in the squad, you know, you've got your highest paid player in a cup final, you know, considering our season nowhere around. So it's easy to poke fun at that. So a lot of fans are having their opinion, but for me, it's the big social platforms, man. It's the Sky Sports. Like you've got Mr. Cavell, I believe his name is, on Sky Sports, and I mean, this is where I think Sky and a lot of these platforms, BT, you know, Goal.com, I've seen it. A lot of people are lacking integrity, and as someone, you know, that wants to improve my subscribers, and I would love to be on any of these platforms, I might shoot myself in the foot with these opportunities, but right is right and wrong is wrong. It has now become about Mesut Ozil and a stick to prod Ozil with, and better yet, entice hate on him. You know, he's seen as a money grabber, he's seen as lazy, he's seen as these things, and I don't believe any of that is true. But if you do, that's cool. The main fact is it's of no relevance. Ozil might be on a crap load of money, which he didn't put in a gun to anybody's head, whether you believe in him or not. I've already said I believe Ozil should be moved on, but no one put a gun to his head when he signed that deal. He was in very good form when he signed that deal. The club were obviously fearful. In hindsight, letting Alexis and Ozil go might have been very important, but letting them both go at that time would have hurt people. He is an employee of, he utilised his position and Arsenal's position, and we'd all sign that deal. You know, I'm not here to criticise that. Clearly it's not the wrong problem. My thing is blaming people for things that are nothing to do. With all due respect, and I sympathise with people who lose their jobs, because I've been there a couple of times myself, and obviously with the economy crashing, you've seen a lot of people away from Arsenal and football industry are losing jobs and cutting jobs and things. So I am quite fearful, but I don't think it's right to entice hate and hatred when with mentioning that man's name in relation to things like this, because you know what you're doing. You just care about engagement, and at the end of the day, engagement equals people see it pays bills. I get it, but just have some integrity, man, because Ozil is a lot of things, but what he isn't is to be blamed for this. You know, he didn't put a gun to nobody's head. He is technically an employee of the club. The club is owned by someone that is worth £6 billion or so. If they wanted to take their hands out of their pocket and avoid these redundancies, including to Francis Kahegi, or, you know, for over 20 or so years, 2 decades, he's been at Arsenal, and he's helped with Martinelli and Cesc Fabregas and Bellerin and many people he's suggested, even Aubameyang at a point. He's a very good scout. He's lost his job. If we wanted to present this, Kroenke could have dipped into his pockets. Instead, we've come out with a well-written statement and not done it. We talk about a touch of class and these things, and we do carry ourselves a certain way. And it's easy for me to talk because I don't own no club, and technically it's not my money to be telling what other men are doing with it. But, you know, for a club that claims about winning through harmony, of doing things with a touch of class, if you're worth £6 billion, you'd like to imagine you can look after 55 employees. Again, regardless of how much you're worth, job cuts are a thing, people. Redundancies are a thing in all businesses. It's just, that's how it is. When you remove emotion, you need to look at things from a business sense. But if you want to blame someone who is worth £6 billion, because we shouldn't be in a position where we're doing this. And I have great sympathy. Obviously, the two are not interlined between, you know, what we're doing in the market and redundancies. But Ozil didn't, but the majority of the club players and people above them took cuts. But when you're seeing, you know, you're giving 100 and something million to Willian, you know, Ozil is technically on those wages. You know, you're hearing Arsenal need to rebuild and spend a couple of million. When you're hearing these things and you're seeing redundancies, again, the two are not interlinked. but you have something to say. And I think this is something where you look at the owner, and it's down to them, not to poke one stick while praising the other, poke one club with a stick while praising the other. But Manchester United, I can't remember all of them, but just type their name in with Corona and look how they've handled their staffing and not getting rid of people where possible. They've done it with a touch of class. So if you're going to blame someone, blame Kroenke. But what I don't stand for is this enticing hatred unnecessarily, you know. Why is, you go on all of these brands I've just mentioned, go on their social media platforms, specifically Twitter. You've got Goal.com saying, what's the first thing you imagine when you imagine Ozil, off the back of this thing coming out? Again, if you're getting your engagement, it's cool, but I just hope you lot have a bit of integrity. I hope when you go to sleep, you're thinking it's right, because listen, Ozil needs to be moved on, but what isn't right is somebody unnecessarily called a money grabber and the rest of that unnecessarily. I've got nothing more to say, people, man. And I don't know why my phone's ringing. In fact, I do, because we're going football. I don't know why it's ringing any further, but I've got nothing more to say, people. That's all I wanted to get off my chest. So yeah, man, I'd love to hear your opinions. Please like, comment and subscribe. I'm out.